here. There we go. I thought on the heels of it being Thanksgiving a couple days ago and a holiday that's all about, normally about food and overeating, we're focused on health, relationships, and all the things that we're grateful for. I thought it'd be really good. Like, who wants to share? Or feel free to just type it in the chat if you're not awake yet. By the way, if you're new, we are all good here. Like sans shower, still getting the coffee in. It's all good. But if you guys want to share something like that you're really grateful since you started your health journey or started coaching, or even since like really diving into this series that you're seeing fruit from, go ahead and pop off and share. And I'd love to hear that this morning before we kick in.
I'm being brave and stepping out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. It's been 4 months since I started, and after Thanksgiving, we always decorate the house. I'm 61, be 62 in a month, and so we're rearranging. And I'm like, honey, let's move this, let's move that. So we got a big, bulky, ugly couch, and I go, we need to move it. And he goes, well, I just want to shove it and stick the trolley thing, I think it's called, under it. So he goes to shove it up. Well, of course, I bend down to try to help him. He busts up laughing. And I looked at him and he goes, you can't lift that. I go, I know. I says, but I feel like I did when I was young. I have the energy. I just don't have all the strength anymore. It's all gone. So I just wanted to share that because I feel younger and I feel thinner in my body than I actually am. I've almost hit my halfway mark, but it's funny. My mind thinks differently now. It's like it used to, clearer. And I'm happy and thankful for that. My antidepressants are doing what they're supposed to do, keep me from being on the dark side of things.
Oh, that is definitely something to be thankful for. That's awesome. Feeling younger, seeing those wins.
Even though I'm an old lady. Thank you.
I love that. Let's do one more as everyone's still logging in here.
I have one, Brad.
Go for it, Kelly.
And first of all, you're not an old lady, Missy, because we're all in this together. But no, you know what is really, this has brought, Optavia and coaching on this side of it has brought such freedom for us. Tim's mom's not doing great. And for this Thanksgiving last minute, we were able to, I said, you should fly home and be with her. And those are the things that, before having these opportunities that we didn't just at a drop of a hat, unless it was an emergency, this was a desire. And he was able to go home and be with his mom for Thanksgiving. And it was just the two of them. And he had a great time and felt like he was really at the right place and present. And, it's just for a couple of days. And that was not the case before. We had this financial freedom and the time freedom to do those kinds of things. So I just, really, really grateful for those differences in our life and the opportunity to know that it's not a this or that. It's this and more as we help more people.
Oh, Kelly, that's awesome. That is some awesome stuff there. I love that. The essence of the holiday right there, being with families and not having any restrictions on it. New way of thinking. Let's do one more. We just crossed 7 o'clock. Let's do one more before we pop in here. Who wants to share something that's changed in their health for those people that have logged on? Either changed in their health since starting Optavia or coaching or just anything they're thankful from with the holiday that we just celebrated.
Brad, I'll pop up just for a second. And Brian and I were just talking about this yesterday and the day before. 9 years ago, we would have both been probably working the holiday, or at least I would have been because I was a registered nurse, and that's just not an option. You work either Thanksgiving Day or the day after, and probably Christmas or Christmas Eve and New Year's. And so really, really thankful, Brad, that you and Ashley brought this into our lives because of that. We've had a lot of years together as a family over the holidays, which is why we wake up and do this and share this with others every day so that maybe they can have more time with their loved ones. And so not only has it completely transformed our health, but our lives, that we get to spend more time together as a family, especially over the holidays, when that just wasn't an option before.
That's amazing. It is, it is a different life with that. So I love that on the heels of Kelly, just looking at the options that we have that we didn't have before, all that time freedom that we have, the ability to have options, and just also have our health in the essence of that. So I love that. So glad you guys were able to celebrate that. All right, I'm gonna get the screen shared as people are popping in. Again, I didn't give a warning to this last time, or on this time, so I'm gonna give it to you now. I'm stoked. This has been a fantastic month, a lot of breakthroughs. So hopefully you guys have down some coffee because I've got some energy this morning. So let me share my screen real quick as everyone's kind of popping in, and we will get started. All right, here. So we're recording, screen shared. Awesome. All right, guys, first off, do me a favor because I love every single one of you. Like I have to tell you guys, like on the heels of just that, Thanksgiving Day weekend, just such a reminder of what to be grateful for. Like, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but if I can just be open and transparent with you, I'm a type A personality. So I tend to be driving. I tend to have not had a chance to I just think if Optavia wouldn't came into my life, like I would have not been as happy. I wouldn't have been able to have freedom, like you had mentioned there, Kelly, the ability to focus on what matters most. I have the ability to focus on more of the negative because that's what you do when you're type A or analytical. And just the overwhelming amount of reminders of what is going well, growing, and the relationships that are prospering in my life because of just the reminder of what we're doing daily. So I'm just such a great time to kick off. So open up the chat because I have a lot of different things that I'll be asking you guys today. This is our community, and I'm thankful for every single one of you that does this. I was actually saying before the call, I was connecting with the people that are speaking today. It's like, I look forward, I had a great Thanksgiving, but I was looking forward to this call more than I did to my Thanksgiving gathering because I love being around people on Saturday, getting after. There's something about being around people that are growing, learning, want to help other people. It's infectious. So thank you guys for being a part of our community, and congrats on being consistent. It's incredible. So, all right, here, this is our last call of this series. And as a recap, we do this call as a way to just cover the basics. Every single person that is, successful in coaching, and success is actually relevant to whatever it is that you want. But basically we could set the tone of people that run over 10,000 frontline volume and above, because basically that means they're really good at supporting clients, because you can't run that volume without being good at supporting clients. They do it well in an efficient amount of time. They make a great income from this. There's just a lot of great things that we do. So all of our trainers are well-versed and run over 10K. So they're sharing the nuggets of gold on all the questions that you guys ask. Can I do this? What do the successful people do? What the cool thing is every single person that does our trainings, they all do the same thing. They just found their voice, their flow, and that's what we've covered in this last little bit. So showing people how to grow a coaching business and what it actually looks like, how to do it simple and easy, and how to keep moving forward. So this is our last call. Got some really great stuff for you today. Congrats on all of you guys that are already moving forward. Let's see here. Lisa Rodriguez, you already hit executive director for the first time this month. Dave and Lori Ford, new regional directors. See here, Gustavo, Barbara, and Emma, all new associate directors. And we still have 6 days left on the month. So let's get into it. Here is the key, you guys, right now. This Coffee and Consistency series landed at a time where it's all about building relationships. And it's always about building relationships. But right now, we showed you this slide as we started the series, and nothing really could be truer on this. You guys are seeing the results of staying consistent, planting seeds, because, just like everyone kind of shared here on the call, it's changing their health and, what has changed in our lives. When you guys set that example, when you're leading with your health and you're out there, people are attracted to that. We just got to get out there more and make more connections. That's really the sign of a great coach, who's someone that's out there being consistent, making the connections, planting a lot of seeds. You'll see the fruit of that. And we'll end up this call with some tips on what to expect in the new year. But again, just want to congratulate you guys on all being consistent. One, let's see here. It's almost 70 people on a holiday weekend morning with people traveling all over the place. Well, actually, speaking of that, that's why I wanted you guys to open up the chat. Go ahead and open up that chat. I want to see where everyone's tuning in from today. A lot of people are traveling. Like Mike, I saw you on the screen here. I think you're still with your family. Cindy, you moved to Mexico during this last little bit because you can work from anywhere. I love that. So I love seeing that we're all here Saturday mornings getting kicked off. So this is awesome. But anyways, back to this is just focusing on planting seeds daily and how the payoff is. You guys are seeing that. And in the Coffee and Consistency series, this is to help you move forward in your coaching to executive director and beyond. For those that are already, to move higher and to get the skill sets down, because we're never done learning. And for those people that are already running, 10,000 and above and have a solid business, learning so that you can teach it well to other people, because it's all the basics all the time. And that's honestly what makes it fun, simple, and easy. So that's our slide. That we'll get into a little bit more of that. And then also just staying consistent on this. Don, you're on my screen right now, and I know Susan's speaking today, and Lori's on here right now as well. It'll be speaking, and Brian, you've been here. We've had to figure this out throughout the way. We've never had as many systems as we've had now, so really just staying consistent. It doesn't look perfect. People think success is like, boom, everyone looks real like, why is that so great? Everyone's got twists and turns, and we're all learning, so that's why we do this, so that we can cut down the learning curve so we can focus on helping more people. And then my favorite slide, just staying consistent, because that's when the breakthroughs happen. So congrats to all of you guys on today, 70 plus on a holiday weekend, staying consistent. I wanted to share one thing with you. This little ticket right here seems to always pop up at the right time. I opened my drawer this morning and it was sitting right there staring me in the face. And some of you guys don't know this story, but the Ducks, I live in Oregon, or the Northwest, and at once upon a time we were actually good. We're not good anymore, but we were good. And this was a big deal. I got this ticket to go to a suite at the season when we went to the national championship. And that was the same weekend that Ashley and I had our first Optavia training. It was Take Shape for Life back then. And I didn't go to that event because I wanted this in my life. I wanted more of what the people I saw around me pursuing their health and pursuing, at that time, Take Shape for Life. I wanted more of what they had. So even my mom's my coach for all you new coaches that don't know our story. And she said, yeah, come to the training if you want, or go to the game, whatever really works best for you. And she just let me do what I wanted. And I didn't go to this game. I went to that training. I can't really tell you what I got from that training, except that I proved to myself that this is something that was important to me. And I probably got a couple nuggets that day, because you always learn one or two things by tuning in constantly that make the difference. So I just want to say with this being there, it always pops up at the right time. Congrats on being consistent during this season. Like, this is a time where holidays are in here, 70 plus people on a holiday weekend. You could have not been here, but you decided to be here. And what really makes the difference is, if there'll be a bunch of things that are going to be great today. Don set up a great training on supporting clients well, based on all the questions that we've been getting from you guys and that have been funneling up. But the biggest thing you learn by tuning in is you teach yourself that this is a priority, and when you focus on what you focus on is what grows. So just want to congratulate all of you guys for staying consistent, being here. And then even in that light, you guys, because we're going to cover just some tips on supporting clients well. Guys, it's November. I just want to just paint the picture. I know that not everyone's staying on program for you guys, and to paint a picture that everything is perfect is not the case. I've talked to a few people that are like, oh, I had a few clients fall off, and they think they're the only ones that have that. Yeah, I still have clients that fall off. I still have clients that don't get it. I still have those things that happen. But one is, when you stay consistent, watch those people come back and blow your mind. I had a client that did exactly what I was talking about. They came back last year and they've lost over 120 pounds, and they are just on fire. So wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have remained consistent. And there's so many stories like that. But when you learn these things, you'll have more predictable transformation. You'll learn how to handle it. You'll stay structurally coaching, and that's when the breakthroughs happen. You'll focus on the wins and not just like what's happening. So just wanted to let you guys know that as we go into the season, we're going to also leave you with some tips of how to really coach your clients well and to set up your December really well. We already covered this because we're in the last of it. I'm not going to really spend time doing that, but basically this is all about learning how to coach well from those that do it best. Here's the recap, you guys. We've covered a lot this last month. We've covered a lot. You guys might not realize it, but we covered all about setting up your structure. And at the end of the series, I hope you guys are learning to dial that in more and more as you keep going through. It makes the biggest difference. We talked about setting up your months, celebrations with all of our team here. Understanding how to build this. We covered structural tension. Mike and Nicole, you covered that beautifully about focusing on where you want to go and how that guides you to what you want to accomplish. And then just setting up the ability to have endless connections with people and planting seeds with your, with your social media connections, 3, 3, and 3. Week 3, we talked about quality health assessment and share. Kelly and Tim, you covered some great tips. And then Lindsay, you really broke that down extremely well and a lot of people say that that was a big impactful point for them. And then week 4, we talked about setting up the standard of coaching. We even covered the health assessment. We covered follow-up. Susan, you covered that last week. That was fantastic. And this week is going to be all about just supporting clients well, finishing up your month strong, and then kind of an essence of how to continue and carry on your coaching and your branding and your connections into the holiday season. Because I'll give this to you guys later. But one, did you guys know that a lot of people don't want to wait till the new year to start the health journey? And Susan will give some light to this, but a lot of people gorged themselves on Thursday and then didn't stop on Friday. A lot of people's minds are open to like, wow, I need a change. A lot of people may have had that moment where it's like, I need to do something. Are they thinking of you? And they don't want to wait till the new year to do that. And then also on that, did you know that I think Livestrong.com said 50 million people will start a diet in the new year? We don't want them starting a diet. Will they be thinking of you like April went over in week 3 when talking about branding and making connections? That's what we're going to be going over today and finishing up this whole thing strong and showing you guys how to go into December. These were our action steps last week. Do a mid-month check if you haven't done that. If you haven't learned to plug that into your system, please do that. Push the easy button coming up for air, assessing where you're at. It's a good recap for all your clients. We covered just staying connected on 3, 3, and 3. That was the action step. Decide what you want to accomplish by the end of this month, which that was a week ago, so we still have 6 days left. Check in with clients. Hopefully you guys learned like what it was like to just find out what people wanted to do to make a plan for Thanksgiving, and just partner with them through that, whatever it is they want to do. Having some fun with Black Friday. Saw you guys, a lot of you guys are doing that, branding that, getting your word out on that. And we just talked about leading with your health and staying consistent. So that was the action steps last week. And like I said, this week we're covering supporting clients like a pro, finishing the month strong, and then setting up your December, January to stay super consistent. So I just want to congratulate you guys all. I'm going to turn it over to Dawn. Dawn, we spent a lot of time preparing for this subject because we've gotten so many questions on this. So Dawn, as you're getting set up, I'm going to let you share your screen, but I talked about sharing the chat. So many of you guys are out there tearing it up, doing a great job, learning left and right. Go ahead, and I'd love for you guys, because we're all learning from each other, open up the chat and just name one thing that you felt like you implemented more in this month that has made a massive difference for you. So just one thing. It could be your health. It could be setting up your structure. It could be staying consistent. It could be like being more diligent on the 3, 3, and 3. Go ahead and open up the chat and just share like what's been working well for you. And Dawn, you're already set up for that, so awesome. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm super excited to jump into this topic. And, Brad, you and Lindsay, you guys did a great job covering parts of this last week, but I don't think we really got to give it, the time that it deserves. We are all about client support. You guys, that's what it all boils down to. And we've gotten so many awesome questions. Brad, as you and I were talking, just kind of like preparing for this topic today, so many great, insightful questions, questions about like, what does it actually look like? You guys, would you like to know? Like, we're going to slow it down today, really dive into this topic, really share the nuances, really the posture and the mindset of great client support, because we have 30 days to really integrate our clients well. And then, of course, we support them all along their journey, but we're health coaches. We come alongside people. We're accountability partners, and we lay that foundation of what they're going to expect. Brad, I didn't even know the stats. 50 million people are going to start a diet. Okay. What we do is we come alongside people for long-term health, and the foundation of that is how we support them on the daily, how we get them started, how we build that trust, and how they know what to expect, because we keep the process so simple. Brad, as you were talking about that little squiggly line, I had some definite squiggles, and I have to say, probably learned this kind of the hard way, because I wasn't as structured and didn't keep client support as simple in the beginning. And so if any of you are new coaches out there and you're just wondering, we all learn. It's all a practice. And this is such a great time of year to really slow down, check your structure, check your systems, get started practicing doing that if you're a newer coach. How you take care of people and help them understand what this whole process looks like is how you're going to have referrals. They're going to have stories, predictable transformation that's going to not just change their lives, but change the lives of others. And so you've probably heard us talk about structural versus emotional coaching. And I'm excited today because not only we're going to talk about this, really break it down. If any of you have ever felt like that little guy on the left where he's like kind of freaking out, not sure what's going on, maybe feeling a little sad or confused about what's going on. Maybe you had a client push out to be slim. Does anybody ever blink your eyes if you've ever had a client push out or cancel to be slim? Ever had someone not answer the phone when you call them? Like for the third time, maybe it's 3 weeks in a row. What? Are they ghosting you? Have you ever had someone say, I'm just gonna take a break for a little while? Have you ever felt like you lost a client? I have too. I can guarantee everyone on here has felt that way. If you're brand new, maybe you haven't yet, but you probably will feel that way at some point. And so you've heard a lot of us talk about structural versus emotional. And the basis of structural is that we come alongside people. We know the process. We'll keep it simple. I chose a picture of a farmer because farmers plant seeds and then they take care of and tend those seeds, and those seeds grow into plants. They yield fruit or veggies, whatever they're planting. And what we do as coaches is we plant seeds, we share in people's lives, we tend those relationships. We don't get emotional about it. Like, do farmers get emotional about the seeds that they plant? No, they trust the process. They know that if they plant the seeds and they take care of them, that many of them will grow. And so that's what we're going to do today, is really talk about the process of planting the seeds, what it looks like, tangible tips to take care of them so that they yield the fruit that you're wanting, basically, so that your clients know what to expect and how to be successful long term. And I'm going to bring Lori and Brian on to talk a little bit about that. But if you felt like that little guy on the left, don't worry. That's just because sometimes we can get a little emotional about it. Sometimes we care so much about someone being successful that we worry that maybe it was our fault that they weren't, or maybe we didn't do something that we should have done. But don't worry, that's not the case. It's all about practice. And for me, there was a season where, and maybe some of you who have coached clients for a while feel like this, I got to a point where it wasn't fun anymore, and I was wondering why. And it was because I was looking at client support more like just checking it off a box, and I was trying to be too perfect, or I was too emotionally attached, and I wasn't just having fun and being relational and coming alongside someone. So that's really what we're going to talk about today. And so why great client support? Great client support is efficient. It'll help you be efficient with your time, and it'll obviously be very efficient for your client's time. It's consistent, it's simple, and when you keep it efficient, consistent, and simple, it is so much fun. Just put a 1 in the chat if you have found this sweet spot with your client support, where you are keeping it efficient and it's consistent, it's time blocked into your schedule, it's simple, and if that has like opened up this whole world of how fun it can be for you. And when you do that, it creates predictable transformations. And those clients who have those transformations, those stories, they're more integrated. They are more successful long-term. And that's what Brad was talking about. We don't want people to start a diet in January. We want them to come alongside us on a journey for health for life. And people who do that often become coaches. I know you guys have heard this before, but really, it's true. I don't know if I believed you, Brad, in the very beginning when you were like, hey, you're helping 20 clients. You probably have 4 or 5 coaches in there. And I'm like, yeah, right. No, really, 1 in 5 clients is a coach. It's just, do they realize it? Do we realize it? Do we see that spark inside them? Do we see the people that are noticing? And are we finding out those things about them? And then, of course, that makes it fun, super fun. And then what does it actually look like? So that's where, you guys, I want to break it down today. I really want to show you what it actually looks like. So it's efficient, which means it's time blocked into your schedule. All right. I'm going to have you guys be really interactive in the chat. Who has a client celebration day? Who has one locked and loaded in your schedule? Not a question. It's in there and it's scheduled out for weeks, and you kind of work your week around it. And you've also put it into a time that works for you. All right, I love it. The chat's blowing up. So that's how you keep it efficient, is that you time block it in, and then that keeps it consistent. And then simple means you use the tools and the resources. Back in the day, and a big part of that squiggly line, Brad, was that we didn't have a lot of tools and resources. Do you guys know? That's one of the things I'm so grateful for now, that we have tools and resources, you guys. And they are simple and they are easy to access. So use the tools and resources that are provided. We're going to talk about what those are today. Keep it relational, conversational. Brian's going to talk a little bit about that, just how to really set people up. That, again, is that structure versus emotion, right? Let the structure do the work for you, and that just opens up a world of simplicity and fun. When you give great client support and you make it not all about you, but really all about the client and all about equipping them to be successful, it gives such great value to clients. I love that Dan Valentine says, you know, if I get hit by a bus, I want you to be okay on your journey. And although I don't ever want anyone to get hit by a bus, I love that that's the mental picture he's giving his clients, that this is their journey. They are in control. Y'all, we work with adults. They chose this. They asked us. We've got the goods. We've got what they want, what they crave, what they want more of in their life. And if we baby them, that doesn't equip them to be the stewards of their own health and of their own journey. So providing this kind of support gives such great value to our clients. I can't even explain the shift that it will make. And when you do that, it empowers those predictable transformations. Their stories will inspire others as we celebrate them and empower them to celebrate their own successes. That will turn into referrals and partners, and it will just organically grow. Again, you're not doing it for that end result. You're doing it for them and to equip them, but the process of that will yield amazing results, and it's going to potentiate them having this community of support all around them. So because we do it this way, it gives lots of opportunities to celebrate, to layer and offer, you know, when it's time for them to share it with the people around them. That then, of course, brings more success into their future. So, all right, we're going to talk about the tools, because that's part of keeping it simple and efficient. So I have the health assessment. Everybody should have lots and lots of these as we're heading into December and January. I'm printing out like 50, y'all. I'm not even kidding. But as part of keeping client support, especially in the first 30 days, really simple, you guys know that on the back of this is literally a little checklist. It's not in order, but it's right here for you. So you don't have to memorize all this, okay? Yes, please take notes, but you don't have to memorize it. It's all right here for you. And then you've got daily text messages. If you're using them now, congratulations on being consistent and knowing what your tools are. If you're not, just know that they're there. Download them to the home screen of your phone. Use them. You might want to practice with them, but they're amazing. They're really helpful. They keep it simple and structured. And then, of course, having your schedule is important, because that helps keep it consistent. So one of the things that we did last week, before I jump into what you do when you're off the phone with them, is Brad and Lindsay set it up really good. Like, after your health assessment call, really letting them know what your coaching is going to look like, what they can expect, making sure that we've asked them, oh my gosh, is there anyone else who wants to start with you? Can you think of anyone else who wants to start this awesome journey, especially you guys as we're heading into the holidays and into the new year? Everybody's got like a buddy or a partner or a spouse or a sister that they want to do this with. And so don't forget to ask them. And then, oh my gosh, by the way, you're going to be so successful. So when people notice, can you do me a favor and let them know that, you know, teach them what to say. Don't assume that people know what to say, because trust me, they don't. And help them know how to bring their friends and family alongside with them. And then let them know, hey, do you have any questions? And before I let you go, and then always set them up for, this is what my coach is going to look like. I'm going to send you a little bit of information between now and when you get your program. We're going to talk the night before you start. And then I'm going to support you into fat burn. Through your first month, we'll talk a couple times a week, or at least be in touch a couple times a week. And then we have a celebration day. So moving forward, this is what it looks like. So they know what to expect, and they know that they're not going to be talking to you for 20 minutes every day for the rest of their journey, right? Because nobody's got time for that. So as soon as you're off the phone from that awesome health assessment and you found out what's important to them and why they want this journey, you've asked any questions, you're going to place their order for the variety pack with the books. Brad and Lindsay covered that really, really well last week. You're going to send a welcome letter. You can send it via text or email. It's in the daily text, by the way, so it's in Simple Systems. You know where to find that. That welcome letter is for them to read while they're waiting for their program. You're going to welcome them to the Facebook page with a post and a picture. If you're not already doing that, you can start anytime. If you are, congratulations. Like, I'm sure you guys can feel in your client support groups how that is adding so much just life and community to those pages. So add them to the page, post a picture, welcome them, place their health assessment, the one that you just filled out, in the very top of your binder on top of the files, so that it's there for you. And, a lot of people ask, how do you support so many clients, so many new people as they come on? How do you keep your times structured? What does that look like? And honestly, Brad, you're the man, and you say this all the time, let the structure do the work for you. And I swear, guys, I personally fought that because I'm a little whimsical and I like to kind of do things with my flavor. You know what? It's okay. You can put your spin and your voice in it, but seriously, let the structure do the work for you. Have a celebration day, have a follow-up day, have it in your schedule. And then stick to it, because it will make your life and your client's life so much better. And it will really, really help those transformations that we all want for people take place. Little bit about the daily text messages. They're in Simple Systems. You can download them. Again, if you're not using them, I would highly encourage you to just go in, check them out, save them to your home screen, play around with them. Brad and I were kind of talking like, well, hey, what do you do? All right, now, what do you really do? We have to be completely honest. When I copy and paste some of them, and Brad does the same thing, he leaves off the very bottom part. So change it a little bit if you want to be your voice, but I don't copy that part at the very bottom where it says, when's a good time to connect today? Because I've already set them up. I already know when we're going to connect. We've already talked about that part usually. So I just make sure to leave that part off. Brad, anything that I missed in there? I think that's just what we're talking about with the daily text messages.
No, I think you hit it really well there. They're there. I do save it to my home screen, so I just grab them. So I can just text my clients in the morning. You can't really see my screen very well, but I just click the little icon button. You can do that. If you don't know how to do it, just go to the link and then set to home screen. Super helpful. Saves so much time. And yeah, I don't do this perfectly every single time. I wish I did, but it's more about consistency on it, and it's there. And I just read over it and make sure it's a match, but it takes way less time than redoing it. And it's just that extra support piece during that first little bit, taking the time to spend a few extra seconds with your clients in the very beginning, because like you were saying about Dan, setting them up really well from the beginning. This is their journey. Show them value in the beginning, they'll keep coming back. So yeah, if you're not using these yet, don't stress. You're already, we've coached for many years without all these things, but this does add some simplicity to our job. And you just copy and paste real quick. And I do keep off the bottom part because it says, when do you want to connect? I've already let them know that we're probably connecting in the evening time, so I just don't copy that last part. So good insight.
Yep. Awesome, Brad. Thanks. And again, don't always send all of them every time. Definitely not perfect, but I do use them, and they're super helpful. So there are some really cool ones that you can send while your clients are waiting for their program to arrive. And actually, in the very beginning, I don't think I realized what to do with those texts. And so just, what I've been doing for the last few months is really using those as the interim, because it takes about 6 business days to ship, right? So that's a little bit of time. And so what are your clients going to do while they're waiting? Are they going to twiddle their thumbs? Are they going to go eat cheesecake all day? Are they going to hit every buffet in town? No, we want to help set them up for success and what to expect. And their journey starts from the second that we have that conversation with them. And so you can send them the creating community text or your program's about to arrive text. So what you do in the meantime from when you place their order to their program actually arriving and you having that journey kickoff call, is important. And you just want to let them know that you're excited for them to get started. You can plug them into the Habits of Health calls, the podcast. You can send them the ebook and the health assessment. By the way, those things are all in the welcome letter, so you don't have to recreate the wheel. They're all there. Just highlight it for them, pull it out for them. Maybe pop in the chat if there's something that you do while your clients are waiting for their program to arrive that has been just really wonderful that they've loved. But basically, this is your opportunity to kind of jump in and set the stage for what they're about ready to kind of expect. So, and then the night before, always let them know, okay, the second your program arrives, let me know. Give me a text message. We're going to want to connect. We're going to want to chat before you get started. So that's the night before or journey kickoff call. Send them the journey kickoff call text, or at least have them watch that journey kickoff call video. I cannot say it any better than was said in that video. It was absolutely fantastic. I always make sure that they have watched that video before we hop on our journey kickoff call. It cuts the time down like by 2/3. It answers a lot of their questions for them. And then what we get to do is hit the highlighted parts with them. So set a time to connect. The journey kickoff call, you guys, should be about 10 minutes. If they have lots of questions or a really funky schedule or something, it might take 15, but just know that that's a brief call. It's not meant to be another 45-minute or anything like that. 5 to 10 minutes, a quick touch base, set them up for basically their first day, because you're going to be talking to them the next day anyways. Let them know that fat burning is the first goal if they're on a weight loss plan. Otherwise, it's getting into their groove in their first few days. But fat burn is the first goal for most people, and that you'll be connecting each of those first few days and not to worry about the next step. The next step will come next week and the week after. How many people have had someone ask about transition on the journey kickoff call? I have. And I'm always like, you know what, I'm so excited. We will get to that. And but let's focus on getting you into fat burn first. We'll take these first few days step by step. I'm going to be right here, and then we'll go on to the next step. That's the great thing, is that they have support throughout their journey and throughout the rest of their lives with this. Reference them back to the Optavia guide often. Everything they need is in there. It's their cliff notes to their journey. It's got their guide in it. It's got their journal. Just make sure that they've read up to page 20. Give them those first tips for their first day. Just make sure they've got their picture, their weight, their measurements, that they know how they're going to track. Are they going to do pencil and paper? Are they going to download the Habits of Health dashboard? Basically, just letting them know we've got them. They're going to do awesome. Do they have any questions? I never forget to reiterate probably 50 times on this call. It's so simple. Just follow the steps. You're eating 6 times a day and drinking water and talking with me, okay? And they can do that. And they're going to get into fat burn, and then you'll really help support them. And then this is really where I let them know, I'm going to be sending you some text messages in the next few days. I'll send the text messages in the morning, and then we'll chat in the afternoon or evenings. We'll set it up so that they know what to expect as well. I'm going to bring Brian on for a few minutes, because he has done an amazing job at setting his clients up really well, starting with that first week. And you guys, I just have to brag on him for a little bit. I know he's my husband, and there's lots of things to brag about, but he has amazing client retention. Amazing. His clients love him. They trust him. And I can tell you that he doesn't do anything that's like brilliant or special, because he has lots of brilliant special talents. He follows the system. He keeps it super simple. So Brian, if you're there, can you just share for a couple minutes, like, what does it actually look like in that first week as you're setting your clients up for success and really being real with them? What's working for you?
Well, thank you for the opportunity to speak on this. It's what I'm hearing a lot of is consistency and setting them up for success. And that first week is so important, because I know when I'm going into something new that I have all these questions going on in my head. I have all these ideas, these false pretenses of what I think it should look like. And, for someone that has been there before, like for anybody that has been on that journey before, if you're even a day ahead, you have an idea, you have a better idea. So releasing some of those, I guess, fears, and starting with them, starting with trust, how to build trust, and just to talk to them and find out what they want. This is one of my favorite parts about what we do, because it involves us getting to know them. And it really just starts, it starts with, finding out what's important to them. And though that is the foundation, laying the foundation, asking them what they want so that you are able to, you can really learn that empathy and gain that trust, establish those communication patterns. And so if they do have these fears, it's I equate a lot of this to parenting, that you want to be able to set them up with good decision-making skills so that when they do have those questions, they have those fears, that communication line is open with you so they will ask you. So when, if anybody's ever had a client that you don't hear from, they get into fat burn and then all of a sudden you don't hear from them in the second week. Why is that? Maybe it's something that we did. If communication is the result you get, maybe, and this the way that I coach is kind of a continuing thing that I keep learning from people. I hear about fears that they have, and how I can help that by just listening to and establishing that trust in the first week. So that's one of the primary things, and setting up the consistency of communication. That is so big that if we have any questions, that we know that we can reach out and speak to the people that we're learning, that we're trusting, that have been on this journey, our guides. So that's a really big thing for me to start off with. And, I think that it helps when they do have those moments of doubt, and getting them into fat burn and reminding them that is our first goal. Like people have said here, is that setting that up so that first step is really all that they're focusing on, because there's all these things that can go down the line, but if they take it step by step, then the journey becomes, hey, there's that next step. I'm going to get to that next step. It's really not that difficult. I have someone that I can ask questions to. Those support messages, those are so important, because along with the personal interaction, the personal communication, and being able to earn that trust, they have something to look at in between. Like if they're at a meeting, if they have just a short second that they don't want to necessarily speak to somebody for even 10 minutes, they have that to lean on. They can look at that on their message. And then when you talk, you have something to talk about. So, I find that the key is just getting to know the person, keeping it simple, and reminding them that there is just one step ahead and the next step. And you just keep taking those steps, and those basic decision-making skills are what I feel set up the foundation to success.
That's so awesome. I love what I'm hearing there too, is that you keep it so relational and so real. And it's like you're just shining the flashlight for them, 3 feet ahead. You're not showing it off into the distance 10 miles. You're just 3 feet ahead, showing that flashlight, showing them that next step. And I love that you always bring it back to like, what actually are you going to be talking about? I hear you talking to your clients, and it's so cool to hear just how relational, how real. I hear you guys laugh. I hear you, all of those things. So it's fun. Thanks, Brian, for sharing that, because I think that gave a lot of insight. Basically, you guys listening and really connecting in that first week will set the stage for what they will expect in your relationship from there forward. So let me share my screen again. All right, can everybody see that? Cool. Right? Can you see it? Okay. So what happens after that first week? So that first week is basically days 1 through 4. After that journey kickoff call, you're getting them into fat burn, right? And it's step by step. Like Brian said, you're shining that flashlight just a foot or two ahead so that they can take the next step. Sending them those daily text messages in the morning, a 5 to 10 minute quick touch base later on that day. Again, like Brian said, this works into their schedule so that it's simple for them. Open-ended questions. What are they enjoying? Not things that they can say yep or no, things that they can actually expand upon. You're interested in learning how their day's going. How's it working in? What questions do they have? How's their meal spacing? Are they getting all 5 in? I don't ask, are they getting all 5 in? I say, how many meals have you had so far today? What's your spacing been like? Tell me what it was like. What time did you wake up? Really leaning into that. What'd you have for your lean and green? How's your water? Complimenting them. Great job on that. Oh my gosh, you got 40 ounces of water in today. Great job. let's try to get another 12 or 15 before, before dinner tonight. That'd be a great thing. So I'm not saying, oh my gosh, you're only getting half your water. No, compliment them, but then nudge them along to just that next little step that they can move them forward. That is structural coaching, partnering and moving them to that next step that moves them forward. Reference back to the guides, the community, the Facebook pages, remind them that it's all about practice, it's not about being perfect. Check in on their headaches. Sometimes day 3, people get a killer headache. Sometimes they don't. I don't want to set them up for expecting that, but I'm checking in. Hey, how you feeling? Have a headache or anything? Oh, have a little broth today. That might help. They think that you're honestly sometimes a genius if it's like, oh, how'd you know I had a headache? Oh, sometimes it happens. But just really always bring them back to that first goal, getting them into fat burn. Don't forget to laugh and have fun and be really, really relational, because that's what this is all about, guys. And then day 4 or 5, people are getting into fat burn. So you've got a daily text message that kind of goes through the checklist, right? They can glance at it if they're in a meeting, like Brian said, oh my gosh, I think I'm in fat burn. You're going to chat with them later that day. But day 4 is a really important day to actually call your clients, check in with them, hear their voice. You want to assess, maybe even Zoom with them on this day. How are they feeling? Do they have energy? Are they feeling less hunger? Are they feeling better? Are they thinking clearly? I bet those headaches, if they were having them, have all but gone away completely. I bet they're sleeping better, but you're really wanting to see what they're actually feeling on that day and congratulating that they're in fat burn. And then what else matters to them, all right? Day 4 is a little over halfway through their first week. Do they have a game plan for the weekend coming up? Do they remember that it's all about practice, finding out what's working into their routine? Let them know that they can connect with you. I love, Brian, that you said that. When they have open lines of communication with you, when they know that there is always support, never any judgment, but always encouragement, they will reach out when they need it. And then let them know on day 4 or 5 that you're really looking forward to celebration days, and kind of trickle in what they can expect moving forward. And that whatever day it is that you do your celebration days on, that you'll be chatting with them, on Tuesdays moving forward. That's just a really great way to set the foundation of what they can expect. Integrating them into the community is also important right about now. They've gotten into fat burn, so you can shine that light up a little bit onto what else is available for them. They've probably already been in the community pages, your support page and things like that, but if not, remind them that it's there. Ask them if they're using some of those resources and the recipes. Remind them about the Habits of Health Zooms. If they've opted into those Optavia 30 texts, they should be getting links and reminders for those. Are they? That's all in the day 5 text, by the way. Encourage them to open the Habits of Health book and a workbook. That's in the day 6 text. Just so you know, are you seeing how the tools are so simple and they just keep it so easy for us? Just remind them that a few minutes a day can be a game changer in that workbook, in that book, and that even if they just read 1 page a day, it can change the trajectory of their health forever. Celebrate them in the support pages. Are y'all doing that? Like in their first week when they're down 6 pounds, 7 pounds, whatever it is, are you popping in a little congratulations in your client support page? Or better yet, are you encouraging them to jump in and celebrate their victories, their scale and non-scale victories? This is when we get to teach them about scale and non-scale victories and the difference and the power between them. And then use those texts. And then, of course, you have integration calls, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. I want to bring Lori on to talk about weekly check-ins. But basically, once they're in fat burn, we set them up for our weekly check-ins. And that is the foundation of our support moving forward. They're short. They're 5 to 10 minute calls each week. Notice I said call, that's all capital. For the first month, we touch base a couple times a week. A call usually on our regularly scheduled celebration day, and then maybe a text message or something inspirational on Friday, just as they're heading into the weekend, kind of on your follow-up day. And then the one thing I will say, the biggest tip that I have learned over 8 years of helping people is calling versus texting. And I can tell you transparently, I've had seasons of both. In the seasons where I got into texting my clients more than calling them, I saw people slip away. I felt them disengage. I felt them disconnect. I lost that relational connection to them. And guess what else happened? Very few coaches came on in that season. I was less happy. You remember the season I was talking about where things weren't really fun? That was after a season where I had been texting quite a bit. Life happens, whatever. It's not perfect. But if you can really, really, calling is what we do, or even Zooming, not every time Zooming, but every once in a while Zooming or FaceTiming with a client really helps solidify that connection. I put this 7 versus 93% rule in there. You guys, 7% of communication is what is said, typed, visually on the slide, right? Written word, that is only 7% of communication. Do we want to 7% coach our clients? I don't. 93% of communication is in your intonation and fluctuation in your voice and body language. And most of that is intonation and fluctuation in your voice. And then a chunk of it is body language. So that's why occasionally Zoom or FaceTime is really awesome. That's why those integration calls are awesome, because you get to jump on Zoom and meet people. So I'm going to stop screen share and have Lori come on, because I really want her to share for a second what she actually does on a client check-in day. Would you guys like to hear like what it actually looks like, what the steps are and all of that? All right, Lori, you do this amazing. And in fact, you train your team and teach them how to do this in an incredible way. So Lori, if you could share with us just a couple minutes, what does a client check-in call actually look like for you? And what have you found just, over the years, what have you learned?
Thanks, Dawn, for asking me to share. I love this because I think back about when I got started 5 years ago, and it's like, oh my gosh, my calls are so different. I felt like I needed to become a super coach when I first got started. I had to know everything, and I felt like I enabled my clients more than I empowered them. And so I think that's one of the biggest things that I'm doing differently now is leading them to where they can find their answers, and doing it in a more timely fashion. When I was in super coach mode, I definitely, the calls lasted a long time, you guys. I kind of felt like I needed to be a therapist, because we're all doing this because we love people and we want to support them. But there's actually a better way of, it doesn't mean we need to be on the call with them for like half hour, 45 minutes. Does anybody out there feel like calls last a little bit longer than they would like them to? And clients talk and they talk and they talk, and we want to be there for them. However, we're unable to get to all of our client calls during the week. Are any of you guys ever experiencing that you don't know what to say on the calls and you don't really know, like they're kind of getting boring? And has anyone experiencing that you have a lot of clients, however, nobody's really interested in coaching? Well, there's different ways of creating more structure, and that's something that I definitely had to learn how to do better. And now that I have, I'm able to support more clients. I'm able to have more people interested in coaching, and it's a lot more fun. So you touched on a lot of that, Dawn and Brian, too, with the authenticity, and that's key. That's absolutely important. Are you laughing on your calls? Like, are you having fun with them? Are they looking forward to your calls? And sometimes that's a personal question we need to look into, and thinking, okay, really, are they going to want to pick up the phone when I call them? And so some ways that you can do that is take a look at how long is it taking, because let's say you're calling someone and they're getting ready they're making dinner and they're thinking, oh my gosh, I just don't have time to take Lori's call because it's going to take 45 minutes. You want them to say, okay, yeah, I can do this while I'm stirring up my dinner. I know it's only going to take about 5 minutes. And so they're willing to take that call, and they know that you're going to bring them value, which is the next point. You want to bring them value on the call so that they want to pick it up. And when I first got started coaching, I was all about the scale. I didn't know any different. So for me, I had a very successful health journey, like boom, 30 pounds in 13 weeks. That's what I was focusing on, and I didn't know to focus on the non-scale. When my clients started getting on program, and not everybody took their journey as seriously as I did, I was like, what the heck? Like, what's wrong with them? Why would they do this? And I couldn't understand. And then I started learning through my clients is that there's so many other things to celebrate. So some things that you want to do is posture the call as soon as you get on, and just let them know, I'm super excited about connecting. Let's just connect for a few minutes. What's going well this week on program? The on program. Highlight that. Because if you just say how's your week going, they're going to talk about their kids' activities, they're going to talk about this and that, and then before you know it, it's a half hour into the call and you haven't even gotten to their non-scale victories or anything. So you start that and just say, I just thought we could connect for a few minutes. You're saying few minutes, they know. And kind of backtracking, when I'm getting my new clients getting started, I let them know we're just going to connect for a few minutes every week. It shouldn't take more than about 5 minutes every week. It's important, the more you set them up from the beginning, the more that's what their expectation is. And then just find out, what are some non-scale victories? What are you noticing? What's going great? People go down on themselves, you guys. Don't we all do that? We look for like the negative. They want to start with, oh my gosh, I had a horrible week, blah, blah, blah. It's our job to like be that shining light in front of them and show them that they can start celebrating their victories. And then this is a great time to, help them see that in a different light. And then also, posture coaching in every single call, like who's noticing, just always find out, like somebody at work, their family members, anybody ready to join you for that extra accountability. Make it fun. Show them how to create community around themselves. And then plug them into the system and ask them, I always like to give them a great tip at every single call. Find out what it is if they are going through some stuff, if they're feeling out of balance and they're not able to stay on track. I like to troubleshoot and just kind of find out, well, what's one healthy habit we could take on this week? If they're working through their breaks, how about going out into the, take a little walk around, the parking lot on your break. Find out what the little areas are so you can help them work on one healthy habit for the upcoming week. So important to have fun with them and feel like they're wanting to pick up that call to get the value. Always plug them in. If for some reason I need to leave a voicemail, if they do not pick up, then I will again bring value onto that call and just let them know, just thinking about you this week, wanted to do a quick check-in. I'm sure your week's going wonderful. I'm anxious to hear about how whatever it was you discussed with them last week is going for you. Hey, you might want to plug into our healthy community on Facebook. There was some great, and then I could point them into a specific. I always have one tip in mind that I want to share with everybody. So anyway, hopefully those little tips were helpful for you guys.
That's so awesome, Lori. No, I love that you just shared how to bring value, keep it simple, keep it short, but keep it really relational. You guys, check-in calls are pretty simple. Here's the layout, 4 main questions. If you could hear what Lori was talking about. How did your week go on program? What are you learning, enjoying, celebrating? Maybe from your habits of health or your program. Did you come across any questions? Are you ready for the next week? What would you like to focus on? Lori, thank you for breaking it down. What you do, even if they don't answer the phone, you're leaving a voicemail, you're giving value, you're not chasing them down and calling them the next day and the next day, then you're letting them reach back out to you. Awesome. Golden nuggets, guys. Hope you guys were kind of taking some notes there. I'm going to fly through the next couple of slides because I want to pass it over to Susan. She's got some awesome nuggets for you for the end of the month. But updating their second order, you guys, huge. They're going to get an email the middle of week 3 from Optavia. Our role is to send that, how to update your next order text, confirm that they watched the video, double check that they've got it. Remind them of why we do this, that it's all about them being prepared, keeping convenient, nutritious things on hand. It's all about their long-term success. Reminding them to be, abundant-minded, that a full 30 days is 21 to 23 boxes. They don't want to run out of food. They don't want to get kicked out of fat burn accidentally. They don't want to get caught out, and not be prepared, because we're teaching them skill sets for lifelong health. And part of that is being prepared. So once you've helped them update their second order, I just want to wrap a little bow around it. Boom, you have then successfully supported your client in their first 30 days and set the stage for their predictable transformation long term. And that's what it's all about, guys. That's how we really create long-term client support, long-term predictable transformations. And many people want to become coaches then. Integration calls are something that you will weave in there. You do them to support, celebrate victories, maybe even troubleshoot. If you drop a 1 in the chat if you're doing integration calls. By the way, those are celebration calls or story calls. If you're doing them, put it in there. We'll probably even touch on this in the weeks to come if we do something, but basically it's to support, to celebrate, to troubleshoot, to really show the power of our community. It's a huge learning opportunity for you as the coach, because you get to bring your mentor coach on, and it's a pulse check. 1 in 5 clients are coaches. Are you picking that up? Are you noticing? Are you catching those small nuances of how to share that with them? Bring on clients who are excited. Bring on clients who, there's always going to be, there needs to be a reason to do an integration call, but either it's their first week and you're celebrating that they're in fat burn, it's close to the end of their first month and you're celebrating some big changes, some big wins, or maybe there's something else going on and there's a reason to celebrate or assist, but kind of do a pulse check. Are you doing these integration calls? And are you seeing 1 to 2 coaches come on and learn, wanting to share it with others as you go? Or are you not doing them and maybe you're not seeing as many people join your team and join the mission? I don't know. It's just good to kind of just be aware of that. So quickly, a recap. Client support is efficient and simple. It creates predictable results, successful clients, more referrals, and more coaches. And it's really simple. Be consistent, call people versus texting them, use your tools, and remember to keep it structural versus emotional, which simply means partnering with them for long-term health and helping them move forward one step at a time. So with that, I'm going to wrap up and pass it over to Susan to give you some really good end of the month tips.
Awesome. Good morning, guys. We're going to wrap it up here pretty quickly, but that was awesome information. Thank you so much. I will say what I love that just sets us apart from any is how much we take we make the support of our clients an importance of what we do. I mean, it is the forefront of what we do, and I absolutely love that. And it's why, I've been around 8 years and grown just to continually love that part of what we do. It really sets us apart. So I get to go into finishing November strong. And what I really want to lead with is that this is our time to really brand what we do. I mean, we do it all year round, but what we know based on the millions of people that are choosing diets come the new year is my mindset is I want all those people to know enough what I do, my desire to want to help, the value of what we offer, because this is their research time, like the time they're kind of researching what they are going to do. And I want them to reach out to us and to explore it. So, but this is honestly a time when people are even choosing health like today, tomorrow. How many of you guys, just drop a 1 in the chat, have started a client in the last like couple weeks? Like new client that are already like, I don't want to gain the 10. So just seeing that kind of blow up, you're seeing that not everyone's waiting till January. So don't go in with that mindset that everybody's waiting until January, because there are people looking for you today. So to finish these last 6 days, it's really just kind of turning up the volume of what we do all month long, something that we can roll into December 1st. But really ask yourself today, what does your business need? Look at your map. That's why we have your map. Are you looking to, reach that next level for whether it's a consistency bonus, whether it's that next little bump in, pay raise, maybe it's helping 3 people or 2 people, or is it helping your senior coaches get their win, people moving forward? What is it? Dominican Republic points. What goals did you set for yourself? And I'm telling you, what you can create in 6 days is absolutely incredible and amazing if you stay consistent and you time block in the right activities to move the dial forward. So start there. I'm going to kind of give you guys some action steps, but the first is really this season, I find I pursue people a little more than maybe other seasons. And what I mean by that is people are busy. They do feel the chaos of the season, and we get to be that quiet calm that comes in, and we really pursue them, pursue people that are needing that little extra nudge, pursuing our clients a little bit more that may push off those celebration calls, but really, pursuing them, saying, when's a 5-10 minute window we can connect. Pursuing past clients, like really giving people that extra nudge. So staying a little persistent, being a little relentless this time of year, really believing in people, just like I believe in you to go all out in this last 6 days to create what you want to create. Maybe up your activity. We're all in this together, just touching our business every day, staying consistent with the 3-3-3. So myself, I'm just committing to a 5-5-5. It's really just a little bit more of what we're already doing, but can we do that for 6 days, and go all in, showing people what's possible, start sharing before and afters of what people can create in 5 weeks. So between now and the new year, like what they can do, give people a reason to act today. Give people a reason to kind of reach out in these next 6 days. So you maybe on your coach support page has seen the Black Friday incentives. Is that a fit for your business? Just to give people a little incentive to go, you know what, that's something I want to do now. So work with your business coach to see if that's a fit for what you're wanting. Then Thanksgiving messages. I think it's so great to just, I know people did it on Thanksgiving, but you can do this all weekend long. Like, how was your Thanksgiving? I'm so thankful for, and really reaching out to people, because what I find is this time of year, it's not about necessarily how many people sign up. It's about how many connections we're making. So if you think in terms today of how many connections can I make this weekend? And this is a great season to be in gratitude and reaching out and saying, hey, I'm really thankful for you. I'm glad we connected this year, or whatever it was, like our time, just those Thanksgiving messages all weekend long, making a lot of connections, because the people you connect with today will be your clients and coaches of the future. Go live, you guys. It really goes high in the algorithm, sharing your story, why you coach, what you're doing. Bring your clients in, share maybe their story and success. I will just say go live it's for some of us, we may hear that and go, no, I don't want to do that because it's scary, right? It puts us out there, but I'm telling you, this is where the fun and the excitement happens. So just really going all out in your activity. Okay, next is asking your clients and friends, and family for either referrals or to share your story, to share their story. So just start asking people, okay, to let them know what your desire is to help. But I find, I'm not going to go too much into how to coach, how to refer, but if that is an area you want to know more on, definitely reach out to your business coach. We've got some great trainings to show you, like the verbiage and how we do that. But this is a great time of year with those clients that are just rocking it, to say who in their life is noticing and watching and wants to join them on their journey. And then last but not least is lead with your own health. Like, doesn't matter what you did too on Thanksgiving, but like the more we get back into our structure in our own body and in our own health, it makes it just that much more congruent and easy to reach out to people. And so I just really want to encourage you guys today to make that commitment to your personal self and over this next season, because that will be a building block in helping you help a lot of people. Last but not least is we're branding ourselves this season. So I'm going to just out myself a little that when I first heard the 333, and I want to really plug Dan Valentine's video, it was awesome. And it all made sense. I understood that they all synergistically work together, but I think I was trying to find a different way. Like I was really good at the posts and good at the friend requests, but not so good at the messaging. And I wasn't seeing the results. And what I have found, October 1st, I really committed to the process. So it took me a little while. So if that's you, it's just, hey, do you want to commit to the whole process? And I will tell you, they all synergistically work together, just like they said. I'm like, wow, like how much you can't, it's like a two-legged stool. You can't really leave one of them off. And why they work together is the posts are about you branding yourself, and people follow people. They don't follow products. They don't follow comp plans. They follow you. And so the more you find your own voice and the more you post, the more you find your own voice. Like it gets easier, I will say. And I want to encourage you guys, before you make a post, read it out loud to yourself. Does it sound like you? And we all get inspired from different people, but if you don't feel like it sounds like you, other people know it's not you. And I'm going to share a situation real quick that Shane and him and I are both really looking to increase our activity in this area. He has a guy that he really admires, that he follows, and it was a great post. But at the end, the post, it said, "Do you, boo?" And I was like, do you, boo? Like, I've been married to him for 14 years. I've never heard him. He's never called me boo. He's never called anybody else boo. Like, I'm like, boo. And I messaged him out of complete love because we're, doing this together. And he's like, yeah, that doesn't really sound like me, does it? And I'm like, no. And he went in and he deleted it, but we chuckled about it. And now, we can call each other boo around the house. But it's just really like, does it sound like you? And it's okay to shift it up and put it in your own words. And one of the tips that's been really helpful for me is I save posts. Did you know that if you like a post, like even a before and after, on the right-hand side, click the little arrow and it scrolls down and you can just put save for later and it drops it into a saved folder on your Facebook. So you can go to all your saved posts from other people and look through and scroll through. And that way you don't have to post the same before and after everyone's posting that day. You can save it and it'll stay banked there so that in 4 or 5 weeks from now, maybe that's the one you use. You put it into your own voice and you can share it. So it's more organic and authentic on your page. So that's the posting. Then the friends, just joining groups of interest. You're going to find friends there. Every person, as you interact with people, be thinking to yourself, am I friends with them on Facebook? All your coworkers and everyone you run into at your kid's school, and just you'll realize how many people that you haven't really welcomed into that world. And this is an area where you can now start like and comment on as you develop a new friend. I like and comment on their page to up them in my algorithm, but I love to just send them a message right away, and connect. And that's part of my 3 messaging. See how they all kind of go together? And then last but not least, just to help for me, the messaging where I found it to become, again, an area of just a little bit more ease is sending birthday messages, private messages with their birthdays and saying, hey, what are you up to? Or, if I see something on their page, your family's beautiful, where'd you get your pictures done? Just inspirations from the feed, new friends, birthday messages. And what I have found is I'm doing them all together. That is where the magic is happening. And we're seeing, people come into our world. We're making a lot of connections, and it's really just about relationship. And that's literally what I wanted to drive home today. So, Brad, I'm going to pass it back to you, and just congratulations, you guys. Stay consistent, stay loving on people. What we have the goods, and I'm excited to see what we're going to create into the new year.
Sorry, I unmute myself. All right, guys. Incredible call today. I want to congratulate everyone on the consistency during this season. I saw the chat blowing up. There's always value. One little tweak. Sonny, I love this, how you were talking about in the chat about how you're going to bring these tips to what's already working for you. That's the essence of what we're doing here, you guys. So as we wrap up here today, congrats on being consistent. This slide says it all, and I think you catch that from the tips of Don, Brian, and Lori, and then Susan here on social media and following up. So take this, plant seeds this season. I just want to share with you one last thing here. I'm not going to have time to go over this because we're already a couple minutes over, but this is what's possible. This is frontline volume and group volume for people that are coaches that started the new year, December, where they're at and where they are at now. Just what's possible to grow. I just grabbed a couple. I could have grabbed a ton. Here's another one. Someone that started out at, senior coach in December and grew to, regional and executive director strongly and up almost that 10,000 mark. All these people here, I think pretty much everyone I've covered here is making $4,000 to $5,000 a month. That doesn't even cover the people that have moved to integrated national and global this year. Or, anyways, I just want to paint a picture that put this time in. The transformation and the lives you will change are predictable. You go get what you want. Success is in the eye of the beholder. Everyone here is doing a great job, and we're a team changing lives. But I just wanted to prep you guys for this, because when you put into practice what's shown here, the transformation, the growth of your business, what you will accomplish, it's predictable. It's just whatever you want to do, taking it one step at a time. And I wanted to say all this because, guys, please take care of your taxes. If you're not setting aside money each month or working with a really good accountant to take advantage of all your tax write-offs, in case you didn't know, there are huge benefits for being self-employed. You can write off almost anything: cell phone, internet, workspace in your house, car, gas, trips, meals with clients. There's endless amounts. So I just want you guys not only to be healthy physically, healthy mind, but healthy finances. Take care of that, because you guys will probably make more money this next year from helping more people than you thought possible. So I just want to put that plug in there. If that's something that you want to know more about, reach out to your support team, or we'll cover something like that next month. But here's just the last little bit. We have a new Optavia Connect starting on December 1st. So the back office will now be the Connect. Our websites will be updated and clean and Optaviafied. And the B-Slim Club will now be called the Premier Club and be simpler to use and added benefits. Our mobile site will be user-friendly. So just know that everything we have will basically get an update and simplified and cool factor added to it. Guys, heads up, mark your calendars. If you're new, you haven't been here before, we do a big time event with Dr. Ray, basically raising awareness for health. That's going to be January 13th. We'll talk more about that. This is our last call. So for this time right now, drop me one chat if you want to have maybe a mid-December just kind of touch point. Just to kind of keep strong with what we're doing. But that's where I want to leave you guys with all of this. Last and final thing is, here's your action steps that are this week and ongoing. Finish this month strong. What Susan said is literally, it's magic. look where you're at, figure out what you're tracking for, figure out where you want to go. If 3 clients makes a difference of where you thought you wouldn't be at the end of this month, go do that. That's 3 clients this month. That's 3 people that might have referrals for you. That's 3 live streams. That's someone that may lay out and inspire someone this new year. Every single extra action makes a difference, just like that slide shows. Stay super uber consistent on your 3, 3, and 3 and making connections. Just a little bit of a tip, like Susan said. People aren't going to wait to the holidays to start plan if they really want help now. Did you know that most people will decide what they're doing in January? More people than any other day on December 13th will figure out what they're doing. Will they be thinking of you? Send out extra connections this weekend. It's a pivotal time in people's health. People had a large awakening. They saw a lot of people. This weekend makes a difference for a lot of people. So be on purpose. Love the tips. Plan on starting your month strong. And the last thing I would leave you guys with is December is a time for you to connect with your clients and find out what they want to accomplish during the month where there's the most holidays. So band together with them, take on that month. Also, it's a great time to plant extra seeds and to really enjoy the freedom that we get from coaching and the time freedom we get from it. So you guys, that's the wrap up on 5 weeks of copying consistency. People have grown their business. You've learned to stay consistent, but more importantly, you haven't even seen the result of the action you put in this month. It always shows up later on the following month, and believe me, it will show up in January. I love you guys all. Congratulations. Have a great weekend. Make some extra connections and really take some extra time to spend time with the loved ones you love most and to be grateful for everything we have. Thank you for everyone that trained today. Super awesome. Thank you for the tips in the chat. Incredible. Let's go out there and revolve life around matters most and think bigger than we ever thought possible. Talk to you guys later.
Thank you, everybody.